All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Questions for Chicago pre-show. This is the show before the show, and of course the podcast that we do, Questions for Chicago. Now, we're not in studio, we're not downtown, we're actually in my car. We're about to pick up one of my technical producers, and we're going to have some fun with him. He's going to be our guest here on the pre-show, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. We're going downtown. The topic for this episode is really good, talking about people who are satisfied with their life and what they think society owes them. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm driving right now to my technical producer to where he lives. We're going to pick him up, surprise him, and have some fun with him. He's also my cousin, in case you're wondering. Sam Samson is who we're picking up, and we're going to have some fun with him.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pre-show.
Welcome to the pre-show.
For real, we're filming.
Oh yeah, we are filming.
All right, I'm here with one of my technical producers, Sam Samson, and we're about to go downtown. Sam, what are we about to do?
We're about to go downtown, shoot some footage for Questions for Chicago. Sean's very well done podcast.
Yeah, get some B-roll.
Yeah, see if we can B-roll of Chicago.
See if we can get those shots, get the slow-mo shots.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, we're just gonna get some breakfast. We're gonna go to McDonald's.
Awesome, McDonald's.
We're gonna bring our camera through the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And then also talk about your past. Now you don't spend all your time in America, right?
No, I'm from the Philippines right now. I'm studying at Dason Bible College.
Right. So well, you moved. Now you were born here in America. But then you grew up in the Philippines, basically. Starting at what age?
I went to the Philippines when I was 12 years old with my parents and my two sisters, and I lived there for basically 6 years. Mm-hmm. Basically, all of my teenage life was in the Philippines as a missionary.
Crazy. Well, we're gonna order some stuff.
Awesome.
We're at the great McDonald's.
Cheap and awesome.
Yep. Did they say something? You can't even hear these people. Hello? Nope, I guess not.
Hi, can I help you?
Oh, here we go. I'll get a hash brown, and I'll get a sausage McGriddle.
All right.
And then what do you want?
Anything else?
Mocha Frappuccino.
A mocha frappuccino.
What size?
What size?
Any size, medium.
Any size. Medium.
Any size.
I can't say any size.
Anything else?
That's it.
It's gonna be $6.54.
$6.54. Seems high, but that's okay.
$6.54.
That does seem very high, actually. The sausage McGriddle's like $1.
Yeah,
$2.
$2.
And the hash brown's $1.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then mocha frappuccino. Oh, that's probably mocha frappuccino. I think it's like $2.20 or something like that.
Sure. So anyway, what was your feeling like going to the airport, going on the plane, knowing you were about to live in the Philippines as a missionary?
Well, honestly, I was still I wasn't a mature 12-year-old, so I honestly didn't know, I didn't really care what was going on at that age. I was just whatever. It was kind of sad, but it was actually pretty exciting because I was like, you know what, I've never been to another country. Mm-hmm. And flying there was pretty cool. We stayed in the airport for 15 hours. Yeah, that was the first time that I ever flew, and then we had a really, really long layover. But it was in an awesome airport in Korea.
Yeah, in South Korea.
Yeah,
that's
Seoul.
Nice.
Sure. I think that's probably been my favorite airport so far. Honestly, that's probably the only airport I've ever been to.
So I'll ask too. I'll start with this one. What do you think was the greatest hardship about being there? And then what do you think was the greatest blessing? Let's start with your hardship.
Well, the biggest hardship was that I didn't have normal schooling, and which it was less motivating to do schoolwork because I was homeschooled. But my parents weren't professional teachers, so it was hard for them too to teach me. So it was a little less motivating to do schoolwork, and that became a drag. But the biggest, I guess, blessing that came out of it, and what made it all worth it anyways, was that people in the Philippines are so much more open to the gospel, and they're very friendly and welcoming. You know, you could walk around and people are just inviting you everywhere.
Sure.
To just eat, come inside of their house to eat.
Yeah.
But the biggest blessing from that was that I saw so many souls saved from just that sacrifice that we gave of just, you know, giving up small conveniences to where, you know, I had to do homeschooling and stuff. But that was definitely the biggest blessing, was how much I got to see God work in the Philippines. And he's still working right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, I think like with with school, like many people just don't think about those things when you're going to another country to serve, especially serve in a ministry. Like there's just little things that, you know, you're not going to think about, like schooling and stuff that. But it really does make it worth it. Okay, now we got to pay. All right. Yes.
All right, that's going to be $6.54.
I'm going to use Apple Pay.
Apple Pay?
Yes. Oh,
it's a new thing.
There we go. Yeah, it's a new thing. Here we go. All right. Thank you. I never wait for a receipt. I probably should, but I don't.
What are receipts even for nowadays?
I don't know.
Like you can see it all on your phone.
Thank you. That's yours.
Awesome.
Sweet.
I hate coffee, but
you always got to check.
I like frappuccinos because they're like milkshakes.
Yeah, for sure. Great way to start the day. Well, this time they got the order right. So that's good. I'm going to start with the hash brown. Okay. Maybe I should have gotten a drink. I didn't. So, what advice would you give to someone who wanted to maybe think about going into missions? What would you say to them?
I'd say the biggest thing to prepare yourself for is I would say personal convenience, sacrificing your personal convenience. Because once you get past your personal convenience, there's just so much more out there that you could potentially minister to people to. And because I mean, like it was weird because like I grew up taking showers in a normal bathroom. I grew up eating in a normal dining room. I grew up driving in a normal car. But when I got to the Philippines, everything was different. You know, I took showers with a bucket and a pitcher, and that was how people showered in the Philippines. And once I got past, this is gross, it was actually pretty fun. You know, it was amazing. Yeah, you don't notice those things once you get past it.
Sure. Yeah. I think that might be what keeps a lot of people from even considering it.
Yeah.
And of course, we're not going to say what God calls different people to do, but if missions is something that you might be called to do, I think you should, not try to avoid the personal sacrifices, but probably take them head on. And then you find contentment. Now tell me this, as far as contentment, do you think because we have more stuff here in America, do you think Americans are more content than Filipinos?
I think that it's the opposite. I think that
interesting.
now that I'm here in the United States and not in the Philippines anymore, I've kind of gotten used to also taking for granted what we do have in the United States. I still complain about it sometimes. Food doesn't taste good here some days, or the weather isn't as nice, or the shower isn't as nice. But when I remember my life in the Philippines, I was actually so much more content with having actually good clean water to take a shower in, because when I'd go visit other people, they had even worse showers than I had, even worse bathrooms than I had, which honestly it's kind of funny because I keep mentioning the bathroom thing. Bathrooms are my pet peeve. If a bathroom is not clean and I go to use it kind of bothers me. So that's why I mention that a lot. But it's just that when you think about it, the Philippines should be less content because they don't have as much as we do. But if you think about it, we have so much, and we're not as content. That's kind of a problem. So we gotta think about that sometimes. And
I figured you'd say that. I wanted to ask because you do see a lot of spoiled people in America.
Yeah.
Well, I've been to the Philippines. When I go there, even the kids here in America, because we work at a preschool, they're spoiled. They want this and that. They didn't get enough snack. But in the Philippines, they're happy. They're a lot happier. That doesn't mean that they don't get spoiled too sometimes.
There's definitely a lot of spoiled kids in the Philippines.
But for majority, they're happy with very little, and they're happy to play wherever. They're happy to play, basketball with like a ball made out of sticks out in the dirt. They're okay with that. And so, I think that can give us some perspective on how we can go about living our life. Well, this has been fun, but unfortunately we're running out of time on the pre-show, and we're going to take it over to the studio and do the actual show. But right now we're going to shoot some B-roll in Chicago, but I'm going to throw it to future Sean, who's going to start the show. And Sam, it's been fun.
Awesome.
All right, Q's for Shy. Here it comes.
You're listening to the newest trend in conservative Christian radio.
All right, do you think most people in this country are satisfied or unsatisfied with their life?
I feel like a lot of people are unsatisfied with their life.
Why is that?
Because we're always trying to chase something, and we're never done chasing something, and therefore, if we're never done chasing something, we're never satisfied.
Welcome to Questions for Chicago with your host, Sean Duncan.
Are you chasing after something? Are you satisfied with your life? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive right in, right here on the show. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to Questions for Chicago. I'm your host from the suburbs, Sean Duncan. Okay, we got to talk about one thing first. The weather here is just absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, now that I'm recording this, the day I'm recording this, it's actually getting a little bit warmer, but Sunday was just ridiculous. I mean, it snowed like it was a blizzard. Okay, it was so crazy, and it's the middle of April. I don't know why this is happening. Maybe God's judging the city of Chicago. I don't know, but we had some snow. It was pretty cold. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like negatives, 13, but it was bad. It was so cold. I saw an Amish guy buying an electric blanket. That's how cold it was. Okay, you know what? I'm not a comedian. We're not even going to get into that. I have a few more written down. Okay, one more. It's so cold, chickens are flocking to KFC to be pressure cooked. Okay, these are terrible. I'm not going to bother you with these. These are awful. Anyway, is it really that cold? It was kind of ridiculous when it snowed, but it is warming up. Spring is here. Thank goodness. Now, what are we talking about today? We're talking about whether or not people are satisfied with their life and if they think that society owes them something. What do you think? Do you think society owes you healthcare, a job, money, or do you deserve nothing? It's a good question. Think about that. We went to downtown Chicago, as we always do, when we asked random people what they thought about those questions and many others, of course, and we've gotten some fascinating responses, needless to say. We also talk with every person we meet about the free gift that they've been offered. And the same gift is offered to you as well. We will talk about that in a little bit, of course, but right now, we're going to get to our interviews, and they're really great to listen to. Right before that, we're going to talk about our email, qsforshy@gmail.com. If you disagree with us or agree with us, we love to hear your perspective. Don't be shy. Email us at qsforshy@gmail.com. Also, check out the pre-show. This one was good. If you don't know what the pre-show is, we do a fun little segment before the actual podcast. And of course, we don't just record the audio, we record the video as well. And it's really, really fun. This time we interviewed Sam Samson. He's a missionary to the Philippines. He's a friend. He's actually a family member. And it was fun to talk to him about his experiences for a little bit before we started the monologue of this show, which is what you're hearing right now. So go to YouTube or Facebook, look up the Questions for Chicago pre-show, and you will not be disappointed. Now, why are we talking about what we deserve from society? Well, we have a generation growing up now. I think it's pretty obvious. A generation that's growing up believing that the world owes them something, that they deserve to have what other people have. These are fundamental in socialist ideas, that everyone gets stuff guaranteed to them. But what is the principle behind that? Does the government really owe us things? Or is their purpose something else entirely? That's what I was curious to ask people downtown. Now, we're going to get to our first interview, but I got to tell you this story. This is funny. This blew my mind, really. For the first time on this show, someone came up to me in Millennium Park. I'm not even kidding. Someone came up with a microphone and wanted to ask me a question, and they had no clue that was the reason that I was downtown, to ask people questions. My tech producer, he was there. He saw this lady getting out a recorder just like mine, and he's like, "Hey, man, she's about to do exactly what you do." I was like, no, she's probably going to record some ambient noise. I mean, no other fool goes to downtown to ask people questions. But sure enough, she goes right up to Sam and asks him a question. And then she comes up to me and she asks me a question. And she asks me, what made me angry today? And it was it was a good question. And I thought about it. And I was like, well, I guess I was angry that I had to clean the closet today or something like that. And she was doing it for a project. We'll get more into that as we play the interview. But that was a first. No one else has come up to me with a question. So to her surprise, I get out my microphone that has questions for Chicago on it, and I start asking her my questions. So really, really fun. We're going to hear this interview with this lady right now.